An update regarding the Default Protect Rule initiative here at Case Western Reserve University. Here to provide the update is Chief Information Security Officer Tom Sue. Tom, over to you.
Thank you, Tyler. Thanks for joining us this morning, and I want to give you some key updates to this major project. I call it a major project because it is a significant change to the posture of the university's network security posture. First off, let's talk about where we've been and where we are. Where we've been is what's called default allow. Our network, you put a machine on it, and the whole world can see it. We're going to be changing that because some of these particular problems we have is a computer will be compromised on the network, and we have to chase it down. And that's bad for the university's reputation, bad for us in terms of labor and effort, and bad for the users who have services that they're trying to run. It also adds a lot of targets to the attack surface of the university, and we're trying to reduce our surface that's exposed. So we also have a very flat network, so the attackers can see pretty much every computer that's connected to the wire on campus. Our goal is to use our network in a strategy that has layering and in different positions where we can have things that are more exposed and less exposed. So our next state that we're after is what's called default protect. This is what you would normally find in a typical network environment that you're protecting. It has been unusual for higher education to go this direction, but we are moving this direction based on the changes that we're seeing in the world from the internet and cyber attacks. In particular, what will happen is off-campus computers, meaning maybe you're at your home, may not be actually able to see every computer that's on the campus. And so we're going here, the point to bring up here is that there won't be any restriction if you put a computer on the campus to go outbound, but someone from outside may not actually be able to see your system. Some key facts to know about this project are it's a change of approach. If you've seen the flipped classroom, where students come in and discuss materials with the faculty rather than the faculty pronouncing information to the students, we are flipping our network security model, and it's definitely for the better. This has been endorsed by President Snyder's cabinet. We fielded a good number of questions from them about support processes in particular. We're focusing on protecting the IT systems of the university overall. And in particular, you should know that we're going to have an exception process. The exception process includes the attitude and approach from our standpoint is that we're flipping the network and we're giving people access that needed something externally available. And that exception approach should be focusing on getting you, we're trying to find those in advance and turning them on as we do our network firewall rule changes. There may be some people who we don't know or we don't detect have a service that they expect to be live. And then we want you to call the help desk and we'll get you turned back on as soon as possible. The project status basically in this case is about almost done. We have several different buildings that we need to finish. We've been doing this for over a couple of years. Some examples are KSL and some of our other buildings have been running in this state for quite a while. But what's important for you to know in the audience here today is that some of the academic buildings are much more complicated than the buildings we've done before. We want to make sure you're aware. In particular, we'd like you to spread the word about this change. Some people may not know they're here away for the summer, and they may not know that you can no longer plug in a machine and expect that the whole world will see it. So we're working that process, and the sysadmins have been discussing this since April, and some of the policy groups have been discussing this for over a year, in particular the ITSPAC processes. How to get there? So in particular, we want to make sure that you know that we already have a process in place. Calling the help desk is the way to get your system back online if you think that that's, I use the wrong term, not online, but available from the general internet. We're rolling out buildings groups, and we've covered, I would say, about a third of the campus to 2/3 of the campus to date. Our main goal is to get this done by the late end of June 2016. So we're asking everyone to, again, spread the word, make sure you let your colleagues know that this is a change that's significant and different, but we do have processes in order to make sure the systems and services are available to those who need it. So now I'd like to field any questions and take your feedback. Tyler, do you have anything for us?
Thank you, Tom, for that update. So my first question is this, can we maybe describe what kind of computer or hardware might be an example of something that needs access from outside the network by the public?
Well, let's say you have an instrument that has a computer that controls it. Typically, those could be remotely accessed. That also means it's at risk of somebody maliciously accessing that system. So we're encouraging people to use VPN to prove that they're authenticated, that they are actual valid users to our VPN system, and then they should be able to access things from off campus. But another type of service that may be present is that a department stands up a web server that describes the research groups or business practices inside the organization that they want to share. We're encouraging people to use the university's infrastructure, such as Terminal 4 or other web-based services, Google Drive and Google Apps, and a number of other services that can be easily deployed in the cloud. I think we talked about Amazon as it's starting to stand up, that those services would be preferred over having a desktop system that's running server-type services.
Great. Thank you, Tom. I know you mentioned earlier that if somebody does need an exemption for their machine, they can contact the service desk at 368 Help to request that exemption. So the question is this: how long will it take to process such exemptions?
Well, as we're doing the rollout, what we intend to do is to predetermine services that need to be on, and we're whitelisting them at the beginning. But if we miss something, you would maybe be the first person to notice, or the user would be the first person to notice that, hey, my site is not available from off campus. Call the help desk. We expect that to be a one-day turnaround. If you get your request in by noon, it goes into the next set of batches and should be done on our daily turnaround fixes. If it's afternoon, it'll be rolled forward into the next working day. So if you call it Friday at 3 p.m., I don't think you would be able to have it done Monday, but it'd be Tuesday morning on that next cycle. So that's an example.